There is a massive building in Wilmington, Delaware. It covers over 3 million square feet of space. Inside, 8,000 robots move on concrete floors. They move under thousands of flickering LED lights. A digital clock on the wall counts down seconds. It glows in bright neon red. If that clock hits 0 before a box hits the belt, an algorithm flags your badge. 2 flags in a single month and you are fired. An automated system terminates your contract instantly. No human ever looks at your face. No human ever reviews your file. Most people think Amazon warehouses are run by people. They aren't. They are run by a cold, unfeeling algorithm. It tracks your heart rate. It tracks your steps. It tracks your every second of bathroom time. Every year, over 500,000 people apply. They want to work inside these neon labyrinths. Fewer than 8% survive 9 months. Not because the work is too physically demanding, not because the pay isn't enough for rent. Human bodies were never designed for this pace. They cannot compete with continuous digital optimization. This is what happens to you at every single rank. Rank 1, the Tier 1 Stower. You are 21 years old. You have $2,000 in credit card debt. Your broken car sits in your mother's driveway. You scroll through job listings at 2 in the morning. No resume required. No interview needed. No human interaction whatsoever. You pick a shift on your phone screen. You schedule a routine drug test. You submit your application with 1 tap. 48 hours later, an email lands in your inbox. You arrive at a massive concrete building. It looks like a windowless military bunker. Security guards scan your ID at steel turnstiles. A trainer hands you a neon yellow vest. Someone else's name is scratched out on the tag. They hand you a handheld barcode scanner. The scanner chirps with a high-pitched beep. Welcome to the fulfillment center. Don't get attached to anyone in this room. Half of your orientation class will be gone soon. They won't survive the first 30 days. Your job is very simple on paper. Robotic yellow pods drive up to your workstation. You take items out of a yellow tote bin. You stuff them into small fabric cubbies. The scanner tells you where to put each item. It also tracks your hourly rate. 250 items per hour. That gives you exactly 14 seconds per item. 14 seconds to pick up a box. 14 seconds to scan the barcode. 14 seconds to find an open cubby. 14 seconds to push it inside. If you take 15 seconds, the screen flashes yellow. If you take 20 seconds, it flashes red. By hour 4, your lower back aches like an exposed nerve. By hour 8, your fingers feel swollen and stiff. By hour 10, you stop thinking about your life outside. There is only the chirp of the scanner. There is only the glowing red digital clock. Your screen tracks something called TOT, Time Off Task. If you walk to the restroom, the clock keeps running. If you stop to drink water, the clock keeps running. Accumulate 20 minutes of TOT and you get a write-up. You eat a cold sandwich in the break room. The room smells like industrial floor cleaner. It smells like stale coffee and sweat. You sit next to a guy named Marcus. Marcus is 24 years old. He wears thick knee pads under his jeans. He drinks 3 energy drinks every shift. He tells you the trick to beating the rate. Never look at the clock on the wall. He says if you look at the clock, time stops. You finish your very first week. 36 hours show up on your pay stub. Your legs tremble on the stairs to your apartment. You check your bank account on your phone. $600. It's the most money you've had in months. You tell yourself you're only staying 3 months. Just long enough to fix your car. Just long enough to pay off your card. Everyone tells themselves that. Rank 2, the water spider. 6 months go by in a blur. You realize you're still wearing the yellow vest. Marcus quit 3 weeks ago. He hit 4 write-ups for rate violations. A new face filled his station the next morning. You survived because you learned to conserve energy. You move without wasting a single muscle movement. Your supervisor notices your consistency on the dashboard. He offers you a cross-training assignment. Water spider. No more standing in one spot for 10 hours. Now your job is to keep stowers supplied. You pull wooden pallets 6 feet high with totes. You pull a heavy manual pallet jack. You pull it across hard concrete floors. You walk 20 miles every single shift. Your safety shoes chew through 3 pairs of socks. Your calves feel like solid steel cables. You learn the hidden layout of the building. You know which aisles have working fans. You know which aisles are hot dead zones. You know which managers enforce the headphone ban. You know which managers look the other way. You build a secret network across the floor. You trade fast totes to stowers who respect you. You leave heavy boxes for stowers who complain. You feel a strange sense of power. You are the blood circulating through the machine. If you slow down, the whole line starves. If the line starves, managers start pacing. They pace the mezzanine like anxious wolves. One night in peak season, the conveyor jams. It jams on the third floor. Thousands of yellow totes stack up behind a box. The alarm buzzes across the entire building. Red beacon lights flash over every single aisle. Operations managers start running down the walkways. They have radios glued to their ears. Every minute of downtime costs tens of thousands. A maintenance technician climbs a steel ladder. He climbs into the high rafters. He pulls out a crushed box. There is fresh blood on his thick gloves. The line restarts 3 minutes later. Nobody mentions what happened. The screen on your pallet jack chirps loudly. A new assignment appears on the screen. You grab the heavy steel handle. You keep walking. Rank 3, the problem solver. A year into the job, your body adapts. It doesn't hurt as much as it used to. You've stopped counting the days until you leave. You get promoted to problem solver. They hand you a laptop on a rolling cart. They hand you a special blue vest. You no longer move heavy wooden pallets. You no longer stuff items into fabric cubbies. Your job is to fix the machine's mistakes. Items with missing barcodes, packages crushed by robotic pods, inventory that exists online but not on shelves. You learn the software that controls the warehouse. You see the digital ghost of every item. You realize the building isn't a warehouse. It's a giant physical computer. Human beings are simply the physical actuators. You sit at a small desk on the second floor. You track missing high-value inventory, laptops, smartphones, gold jewelry. You notice a pattern in the system logs. Every Tuesday night, electronics disappear in Zone B. The inventory count says items were stowed. The packers on the main line never receive them. You investigate the digital access logs. You find a single employee ID attached to every file. It's a guy you've had lunch with before. He has 3 young kids at home. His wife is recovering from major surgery. You stand behind his station in silence. You watch him work his shift. He slides an iPhone box into his sweatshirt. He pretends to clear a pod blockage. He turns around and looks right at you. He doesn't say a single word. His eyes beg you to turn around. His eyes beg you to walk away. You stand there for 10 long seconds. The system requires you to log it quickly. You have 2 minutes to file the report. If you don't report it, your badge gets flagged. You open the terminal software on your cart. You type in his station number. You hit enter. 5 minutes later, security officers arrive. 2 loss prevention officers walk up behind him. They clip his badge off his lanyard. They escort him out through the side doors. He doesn't look back at you. You sit down at your rolling cart. You open the next problem ticket. Inside this building, empathy is an operational liability. Rank 4, the process assistant. 2 years in, you apply for a red vest. Process assistant. Tier 3. You get a $2 an hour raise. You get a radio clipped to your collar. You are no longer a floor worker. You are the first layer of management. You don't touch inventory anymore. You stand behind a long wooden desk. 6 computer monitors flicker in front of you. You track the rate of 80 workers at once. Your screen looks like a wall of colored bars. Green bars, yellow bars, red bars. Green means the worker is hitting target rate. Yellow means they are falling behind schedule. Red means they have accumulated too much TOT. Your main job is to deliver formal quote-unquote feedbacks. You carry an iPad from station to station. You walk up to 19-year-old kids. They look as exhausted as you felt years ago. You read a strict script off the iPad screen. Your rate for the last hour was low, 180 units. The target is 250. They give you desperate excuses. Their feet hurt. The pod was jammed. The tote bin was filled with heavy items. You listen politely to their words. You tap the screen with your finger. You select Delivered Verbal Warning. You hate the sound of your own voice. You sound exactly like the managers you hated. TJ, a kid hired 3 months ago, looks up. His eyes are completely bloodshot. He asks if he can take a 10-minute break. He needs to call his mother immediately. His family is getting evicted today. You check your monitor screen. TJ is already sitting on 2 write-ups. If he steps away, the system triggers a firing, an automatic termination notice by midnight. You tell him you can't save his job. He stares at you in complete disbelief. He drops his scanner into the tote bin. He walks toward the exit turnstiles in silence. You stand at his empty station alone. You log onto your iPad software. You mark the station as inactive. You reassign the work to the next person. The rate bar on your monitor turns green again. Rank 5, the area manager. At age 26, you cross into salary. Area manager, L4 rank, $62,000 a year. They take away your red vest. They hand you an orange high-vis vest. You get a shiny new laptop. You get a corporate email address. You get keys to the management office. You think you finally made it out. Then you calculate your actual hourly wage. You work 14-hour shifts during peak. You work 6 days a week for months. You arrive at 5 in the morning in the dark. You leave at 7 at night in the dark. Your salary breaks down to $18 an hour. No overtime pay whatsoever. You are trapped inside a massive pressure cooker. Above you are senior managers pushing metrics. Below you are hourly workers who hate you. You spend hours writing formal write-ups. You write them for people you don't know. You sit in weekly audit meetings. Directors demand answers for tiny efficiency drops. You learn the true language of corporate: attrition rate, throughput, cost per unit. High turnover isn't a flaw in the design, it's an intentional feature. The system burns people out on purpose. It stops them from qualifying for wage raises. One night, a worker faints on the floor. She collapses from heat exhaustion on floor 3. You call safety on your radio. You rush to her stowing station. She is lying on the cold concrete. She is sweating through her yellow vest. The medical team loads her onto a stretcher. Your senior manager pulls you into the hallway. He doesn't ask if she is okay. He asks how long her line was stopped. He asks how many units were lost. He tells you to replace her immediately. You walk back to the desk in silence. You assign another worker to her exact spot, the spot where she was lying minutes ago. You go home late that night. You sit on the edge of your bed. You stare at the bedroom wall in silence. You sit there for a full hour. Your partner asks what's wrong. You say everything is fine. Rank 6, the operations manager. You are 31 years old. You've survived 9 peak seasons. You are an L6 operations manager. $120,000 a year, plus valuable stock options. You oversee an entire main department, 400 hourly workers, 40 process assistants, 6 area managers. You sit in a glass office above the floor. The people below look like tiny ants, color-coded ants in a neon maze. You don't deliver warnings anymore. You don't look at individual worker rates. You manage spreadsheets controlling millions. You affect hundreds of families with one click. A directive comes down from regional leadership. Labor costs must drop by 4%. You open your workforce planning software. You don't pick human names. You slide a digital percentage bar left. The system selects 80 low-performing workers. By Friday afternoon, 80 people enter HR. They enter one by one. They are handed their final paychecks. They are escorted past the turnstiles. Among them is an elderly woman from Problem Solve. She worked here for 4 full years. She brought baked cookies during holidays. She passes your glass window on her exit. She looks directly up at you. You don't look back at her. You stare at your monitor until the door clicks. Your corporate stock options vest next week. Your net worth crosses $200,000. You buy a modern house in the suburbs. It has a spacious 3-car garage. You buy a new SUV with leather interior. You have everything you wanted at 19. But you can't sleep without sleeping pills. Every time you close your eyes, you hear it. You hear the chirp of barcode scanners. You hear the constant hum of conveyor belts. Rank 7, the Senior Operations Manager. At age 35, you reach L7 rank. You run the entire night shift operations, a 4 million square foot facility. Your compensation touches $250,000. You don't wear a vest anymore. You wear a tailored suit jacket over a polo. You spend shifts in windowless conference rooms. Zero natural light enters the room. You present quarterly metrics to vice presidents. You do video calls with executives in Seattle. You talk about human beings as FTEs, full-time equivalents. You talk about turnover as managed attrition. You explain why human bodies broke down. You never admit the machine demanded too much. One winter night, a massive blizzard hits hard. The governor declares a state of emergency. Local roads are covered in thick ice. Your area managers ask to close the facility. They ask to send workers home safely. You check the regional fulfillment matrix online. If your facility shuts down, others collapse. 3 fulfillment centers will be overwhelmed instantly. Delivery promises for thousands will be broken. You make the executive call. The building stays open all night. 30% of workers call in sick. Others get stuck in deep snowdrifts outside. The workers inside run double volume lines. They struggle to make up for missing labor. At 2 in the morning, a truck jackknifes. It crashes on the icy ramp at Dock 42. The driver breaks his leg in the crash. The dock manager calls your radio, panicking. You step out onto the freezing dock. You look at the overturned semi-truck. You look at the spilled cardboard cargo. You look at the driver in the ambulance. You don't feel any anger. You don't feel any pity. You feel absolutely nothing inside. You look at the supervisor shivering beside you. You give him 3 clear instructions. Call the towing company, clear the debris from Dock 42, redirect trailers to Dock 43 immediately. You walk back inside the warm facility. You don't wait for the truck removal. Rank 8, the general manager. You are 41 years old. You are the general manager of the center. Level 8 rank. Your compensation package exceeds $500,000. You have a corner office with real windows. They overlook the busy highway outside. You answer directly to global vice presidents. You don't manage a warehouse anymore. You manage a functioning, small city. Its own private security force. Its own medical triage staff. Its own massive supply chains. Its own power infrastructure grid. You sit at your desk on a Tuesday. You look at a historical performance report. You've been with this company 20 years. You open an old archived employee file. A file from your first year stowing. You search for your original badge number. The system shows it was deactivated decades ago. It feels like reading a dead person's file. You step out of your corner office. You walk down to the floor for a walkthrough. You pass through the steel turnstiles. Hundreds of people in neon vests line up. They look at you with quiet hesitation. They know your rank by your lanyard color. None of them know your actual name. You stop near a stowing station on floor 1. A young kid is working there furiously. He looks about 19 years old. His brand new yellow vest is way too big. He is moving frantically to keep up. He struggles to match the yellow pod speed. The screen above him is flashing yellow. His hands are shaking violently as he scans. He drops a cardboard package on the floor. He picks it up in a panic. He looks around, terrified a manager saw him. He looks right into your eyes. He sees your expensive suit. He sees your executive badge. He sees your clean, uncalloused hands. He looks at you like you're an alien, like you belong to an entirely different species. You step closer to his active station. You look at the digital rate counter above. It is glowing bright red in the dark. He has 14 seconds to stow the item. Otherwise, his score drops into write-up territory. You have the power to press one button. You could wipe away all his write-ups instantly. You could promote him right on the spot. You could change his life before his shift ends. You look at his flashing screen. You look at his shaking, sweaty hands. You open your mouth to say something to him. Your phone vibrates in your suit pocket. A text message from the vice president. Throughput for Sector 4 is down 3%. Fix it before the shift ends. You put your phone back in your pocket. You look back at the 19-year-old kid. You don't say a single word. You turn around on your heel. You walk back toward the quiet executive offices. Behind you, the scanner chirps its high-pitched beep. The digital red clock ticks down to 0, and the machine keeps moving.